Hi, this is Doc. I've been trying to do a bunch of experimental things, trying a bunch of different, avenues for this. And what you're about to listen to is one of a portion of a movie review podcast that I did. The portion that I was able to save because I had a little bit of issues with it, but thankfully, I got it here, ready, live in living color, daddy, for you to guys to listen to, for you to go listen to. This is a review on one battle after another, featuring my friends Tay and Will. Um, you know, Pretty timely movie to do, Oscar nominated and all that stuff. So, please enjoy this and
Uh, eh. and we're back after that review for him. Basically, I wouldn't watch the movie. Would you guys watch that movie again? I wouldn't recommend
I
it.
cannot
I,
recommend that
I
movie.
I can't recommend it, but I would watch it again. Yes, I think
I
I would watch it
mean,
to see all the stuff I missed.
maybe I could watch it just to like see like, oh, these are what you should have been looking for. But maybe I should also take an ayahuasca trip while watching it. And on the third movie we're gonna watch, it's called One Battle After Another, directed by the fantastic Paul Thomas Anderson. Um, I I like Paul Thomas Anderson movies. I like Boogie Nights. I like Vanilla Sky. Wait, no, that's someone. That's not him. I like Magnolia. That's another Tom Cruise movie. I like what he does. He's always like has an inherent goofiness to his movies. And One Battle After Another was a pretty funny movie, honestly. Uh, but there are things it tackles in there that because when we go watch movies, right? I watch movies to sort of escape my reality. But as a child of immigrants, as a Filipino American, as an Asian American, right now, people that look like me, people that sound like me, people that are like me, are being taken from their home. Not taken from them. They're being taken forcibly, without any due process, by a Gestapo called ICE, and I do not fuck with it. I think what this movie kind of showcases, during it, is like not a possible future, but a future that is actually happening. It's actually our present. And at times, like I got really mad just like when they went in the opening, because in the opening they go to an ICE detention center. They show all these kids in handcuffs, zip tied in cages. They showed babies and like little kids in the cage with nothing, and they're just lying on the floor. And to me, that's that's great vision. That's a great visualization. That's great. Okay, I think it got the reaction out of me that it was supposed to get, of like a visceral like anger. And then Sean Penn's character, he is basically every like white supremacist who loves black women. Um, and like it just it that whole relationship with the main chick. I mean, she bad as hell though. Shout out to her. I forgot her name, but she bad.
Tiana Taylor.
Yeah, yo. In those jeans though, like when Leo was like grabbing it, like yo. Okay, anyway. But like to get to that point, like where she has that relationship with Sean Penn's character, who's like in the military, sort of like a high ranking guy, and he's letting her do all these missions of freeing these people and causing all this chaos because they have sort of a transactional sexual relationship. This pussy don't pop for you, I think, is the phrase at the end of the movie. But yeah, a lot of things kind of didn't sit well with me as far as like what I was seeing. I do like Leo as like a put upon dad that just has to face this kind of reality. And then Benicio del Toro was pretty great as the karate teacher, who was also like um, helping people move around the country so they can escape, la policia. And like there's there's enough in this movie where you can see it being a reality, um, and it's just like that kind of took me out of it. But yeah, there's a lot of stupid shit that happens. That there's a lot of plot holes in this also, and a lot of this like kind of movie kind of thrives on like playing to your heartstrings or like really trying to play to you getting pissed off about something, and that's okay. I thought it was an enjoyable movie on my part, but I just some of the theming, some of the choices made, uh, I can't watch this movie and like feel like good watching this movie. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, because just the fact that all these things can possibly happen, it sort of just makes me feel like sort of sick as opposed to like, yeah, what a kick-ass movie. It's like I felt like, oh, yeah, that was a good movie. But then I feel sick afterwards because I think about my reality. I think about the reality of what's going on in my country. And I think about like how this could be something that's going to be happening within the next 6 months. And that's where it troubles me. But, I'll let you guys go off. So,
I'll let Tay go
Yeah,
first. I've been taking the wheel too much.
yeah. I think everything you say rings true a lot. I think I was kind of mesmerized by the start of the movie. I intentionally went in blind to this movie, um, and I know movies take a decent while. So when we start in that opening scene is in an ICE detention center, more or less, uh, I was really taken aback because I was like, "Damn, I didn't think that's what this movie was going to be." And that shit hadn't started probably when they filmed this, so it was kind of shocking in that way. And I think, like you're saying, the tone of the movie kind of gets a little cute and fun at sometimes, which I think doesn't work as well when you really think about it because of how real uh, the ice parallel kind of stuff is. Which I think is just kind of a happenstance. Ultimately, I don't, the Trump first term hinted at kind of some of this shit, so maybe that's was the inspiration. But um, I think a lot of it is just kind of weird coincidence. But yeah, the opening of this movie really shocked me for three reasons. One was like that, where you drop right into the ice. Two, I'm not super familiar with Paul Thomas Anderson, so I thought I was going into a Wes Anderson movie. So that really fucked me up because I was like, okay, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And then the third thing that really fucked me up was I went to high school with the music artist Dijon, and he's in this movie. So seeing someone I like fucked around in tenth grade English with on the big screen, that was the first experience I had with that. So that kind of like broke my brain for the first like 15-30 minutes of the movie because I was like, holy fuck, is that my old friend? Um, but overall, I thought this movie was really good. I thought this is probably the third best movie I've seen this year. I liked Sinners a little more, and I thought the Kiki Palmer comedy movie at the beginning of the year was my favorite movie of the year. But this was
Those
like right
days.
up, yeah, one of those days. That was my
yeah.
favorite movie of 25. But I think this
Yo,
feels like a
Kiki Palmer and
runaway
SZA
Oscar.
were,
Yeah,
yeah, it's probably going to get the Oscar because this was Oscar bait. Kiki Palmer and SZA
yeah,
were like fire in that movie. It's like,
It's the
very
one
memorable.
movie I want
Yeah,
to see that I missed this year.
bruh,
it
it's
was
gonna,
on Netflix. I don't know if it still is, but it's very good. I've already watched it
yeah,
like 2-3 times.
yeah,
It's so
it's a
much
good
better
ass
than you
time.
think.
It
It's
looks
like,
hilarious.
yeah, like you ever like so like it's like a hood classic, but like not, but like
Hmm.
in a modern way. Like, you know,
It looked about
it's
like that, yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's like, what can I compare it to? Like, imagine if Friday, but if Day Day wasn't Day Day and Craig weren't like shitheads.
It's not the same movie,
Not the same movie.
Yeah.
but I get what you mean though.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, man.
Okay. Are those your full thoughts?
Uh,
Because
that was my
from the second that I saw them breaking into like an ice uh, compound, and like from that second, I pulled out my notepad. I was like, okay, I've got to take notes because I need to understand what they're fighting for, and it
Yeah,
It's like,
appears to be
yeah,
everything and also nothing.
yeah,
yeah, that definitely lacked. They never explained the mission there at all.
Like the
Um,
French 75 are just sort of we like I don't know if they're just anti-establishment. I don't know if they're specifically anti you know anti-ice. I don't know what they're against. Also, I will say from the 2 seconds of like does this movie have a thing? Is this an adaptation? This is an adaptation of a
yeah,
book from the 90s. Turns out, so that's kind of helps me understand why the revolution, because that's all they ever call it in the movie. The revolution is so vague and ill defined. It's that it's just meant to be the guys that are against the things that people with consciences generally perceive to be bad. I don't think it's
yeah.
like it's not really giving me anything past that. It's just like, are you would somebody call you woke? That's what we're fighting. That we're
Yeah,
fighting against all the people that are against the woke. It
it's
was it feels like a Republican. Honestly, it feels like a Republican or a MAGA faithful wrote the characters that are a part of the French 75.
yeah,
Um, but I think if you don't have that dumb opinion that I have, and you just take it straightforward as what it is, I think it's honestly a really solid um, critique on a lot of people that claim to be on the left or on the liberal side of things. Specifically, Tiana Taylor's character, who
oh
she's all
yeah,
down for. She's like a straight up like bomb fucking fight slut. Where like, oh yeah, she sees Leonardo DiCaprio, he's like making these fucking bombs and they're fucking shit up, and the millisecond that she gets caught, she crumbles to shit because she was never about this shit. She just wanted to blow shit up. She's just crazy, in my opinion.
yeah. She flips on
Um,
on all of her
everybody
compatriots. And
immediately
like
like
the daughter like never like has her as a, because Leo tries to make the character of the mom, her mom, like to be like a revolutionary superhero, but she's like, that's bullshit. She abandoned you, she abandoned me, she abandoned everybody, I got them killed. She was a
yep,
traitor. That's what the daughter said. And I was like,
yep.
she's right. She's right. Like, and this could be sort of an allegory for like a Kamala Harris. That sort of
Mm, okay, I
like
mean
somebody that
we
sort
could
of,
talk about that further.
because like, when we talk about like these people who are Democrats, we're talking about establishment Democrats who don't really want
Yeah.
change, but want to have the appearance of change, and like it's something where like we, as a country, we did not trust her to really make the changes we wanted, and so the other side wins, and of course we end up with this sort of like um hellscape sort of situation. And like when she sort of like turned and flipped on everybody, and like they all just thought, okay, the revolution is bullshit. And like from the beginning,
Mm.
once they had the baby, Leo was like, fuck this shit, we're done. They don't know who we
I
are,
I
we're
have
done.
to I have to counter you here. Um, because what you're describing is not really the reason people didn't vote for Kamala Harris. I think that the biggest reason people didn't vote for Kamala Harris is that the Democratic Party tends to hold their representatives a bit too accountable,
Yeah,
whereas the Republican Party generally does. That being said, when the Democratic Party holds their own accountable numerous times, yeah, like Kamala Harris wasn't going to have a platform, especially not with 107 days. I think it was. She wasn't going
yeah,
to have a platform that was going to differ too much from. the guy that just won the election before her, her president.
Yeah.
So she wasn't gonna say anything drastically different. I think that she had. I think that if you weren't swayed by her plans for housing, her plans for small business, um, you weren't gonna be swayed in the first place. I also think that the caricature of a Democrat is not the same as the caricature of a liberal. I think that the movie is reaching towards that caricature of liberalism
Hmm.
or extreme leftism, I should say, where it's the blow shit up, fuck this shit because the system's broken. We need to protest. It's that guy, right?
Che Guevara
Um,
shirts. I got you.
yeah. It's that guy that's like, you know what? Fuck the peaceful protest. We need to get what we need, and we need to chain ourselves to this tree. That's the tame version of what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Um,
Darby Allen with a
and
Molotov cocktail.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like the crazy batshit, like that person
Yeah.
is the image that this movie's trying to evoke. I don't think that this movie is. I don't think this movie is. I think this movie's honestly, in that respect, a little bit cowardly, right? I
Yeah.
think that this movie needs to. I think this movie leans on real life things to evoke a feeling out of you without
Yeah.
fully leaning into any of the philosophy or any of the reasons why you might agree or disagree with those points. I think maybe the only place that it really does take a some sort of a stand because this movie wants to be political without being political. That's what it's trying to cheat at.
That's
The
true.
movie doesn't the movie doesn't want to be political. It just wants to have this as a framing device without taking a stand one way or the other. Um, so you make these cartoon protagonists for us to root for. Hey, they freed those guys, they freed those people that were in the detention center. Cool, I can root for that. Then they do other random like acts of things. Like why are the people that were freeing people from ICE detention centers suddenly robbing a bank?
That shit didn't
You
make any
know,
sense to me.
why did she shoot that guy? Well, I get why she shot that guy. She wasn't about the thing in the first place. But why was everybody else that was actually a part of the revolution? Why the fuck were they there? That makes zero sense. It's not a revolution. These are just crazy people.
The
And then the crazy people go into hiding, and that's all well and good. It's like you set up all this stuff for these characters. Mind you, this movie is 2 hours and 45 fucking minutes. This is a long ass movie,
it is.
right?
It is.
Um, you set up all this stuff for these people that one, the stuff doesn't matter. Two, you're not convinced that people care about it. I'm maybe convinced that Regina Hall cares about it. I'm definitely convinced Benicio del Toro cared about it, right? His character. I'm definitely convinced he cared about it.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah. You talk about
I
Wes
honestly,
Anderson. He was really also good
yeah.
in the Phoenician's Assistant. Um,
Hmm.
I I do think like at the end of the day, the people who stood out were the people that Paul Thomas Anderson wanted to stand out. Like Benicio del Toro's character of being like the karate teacher who's all about the
Yep.
community and like everybody trusts him and like he's pretty much infallible. I think that's
Hmm.
pretty cool. I like that one of the kids that he was taking care of was wearing the Eddie Guerrero "I'm Your Poppy" shirt, the Scarface shirt. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh
I
shit,
think
that's
Sean
Eddie's
Penn.
shirt."
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I was gonna say, I think Sean Penn and Benicio del Toro are probably the strongest points of this entire movie.
Oh yeah,
Sean Penn plays the conflicted white man trying to be down for his people, I guess, but he definitely has his fetishes. He
yeah,
plays that to a T. I really he played a really solid role in that
yeah,
movie, and it's a really complex role. He put it across perfectly.
yeah.
I think that the
The,
person, I think her name's like Chase Infinity or something like that, some weird video game ass name. I think
yeah,
she played her role just fine.
yeah. She was
She's not the greatest actress. She's not the worst.
she was just the daughter, and she was good
Yep.
like as the damsel not in distress because her dad, of course, prepared her for everything.
Yep.
I I do want to point out this like most like all of the cops and the military people in this movie were played by white men. There were the only
Specifically,
sort
yeah,
of
that's calculated.
and then like specifically the only man of color in a uniform was the bank robber, and he got shot and killed. We don't really see those the army people get killed aside from when the native guy who said all of a sudden has a change of heart just goes on a shooting
Mm-hmm.
spree. And that was that was like one of those scenes where you're supposed to go, oh hell yeah, and then like you realize, okay, they're
Yep.
all dead, and like this girl's going through all this trauma, all this death, and she was just playing with a dog like the day before, like just playing in her backyard with a dog, and then it went into this
So
whole shit.
this
It's a
movie, this movie is like the worst rage bait I've ever seen.
yeah,
And to mention the fact that like there's a strong racial divide between who has what roles in this movie. You know,
yeah.
what movie did it a lot better, a lot better.
What are we talking?
Sinners did it straight up better.
Hey yo, man,
Because you
I
wouldn't have
agree.
cared if the guys in the beginning were black or white, Asian or cute, whatever. It's the fact that they were egregiously racist to Michael B. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan. And then at the
Yeah,
end, when they come back and they're like, we're definitely going to kill every single black person here, you wouldn't have cared if they were white, Russian, Asian, whatever. They're clearly racist. And yeah, and it's just like, that was a much more cathartic scene for that. You
yeah,
don't really have to be, it was honestly kind of race agnostic. You don't really have to be a certain race to be, okay with racist people, getting their just desserts.
yeah,
This movie does that, but you don't like the white supremacist guy, the main Christmas Adventurer Club guy, the crew cut man, or the straight the you know what I'm talking about. The
yeah,
main
yeah.
guy who's like, damn, that
The
guy we
CK
just
guy.
recruited.
Yeah,
Yeah, that guy
yeah.
we just
We're not
recruited.
gonna say names.
He
We're
shredded
not
fuck
gonna
a
say
black
names.
woman. Yeah. Yeah, that guy. I think he was fun as a surprise. Oh shit, villain. Like, oh, he's actually gonna be like active. Okay, cool. I think that I started laughing about 2.5 minutes into the driving up and down hills section.
Oh yeah,
it
that
was
was
that
that
was
was that was
that was
funny.
comical. It started out really tense, and I was like, I think this movie wants me to. I think this movie wants me to be worried right now. But
It was
like,
like
I yeah, like,
it
go
was
ahead.
like a Mr. Bean chase scene.
Yeah, perfectly. Yeah, I really wanted to be like, cause like I'm 2 hours and 33 minutes in or something like that, and I'm like, damn, I really want to be like engaged. Like, oh shit, this is oh my god, bro, they're going up and down and back up and back down and up, and then down again, and it's like I want to. This was an interesting idea. I don't think this was a good idea.
Yeah,
I think, and then I think if you were going to do it, I think they shouldn't have just told us exactly what was going to happen. I think it should have been from the main Christmas Adventurers guy's perspective, where he comes up across that final hill, he sees the cars fully stopped, crashes into it, then he gets shot. I think it's a lot better that way instead of just showing us, oh well, Leonardo DiCaprio's daughter parked, slammed the brakes, gets out of the car, hides over there, waits, he hits the car. Yeah, like I think after all that tension, I think we needed that little bit of oof, like okay, well, thank you, that's the payoff. But nope, we got what we got.
yeah. Um,
I think this is I think this is a better movie under a different director.
it's it's like trying to be different things for different people.
Yep,
I
try
feel
to be
like
everything for every person.
yeah, and like I mean, I know Tay's like in an interracial relationship. Um, and like it's sort of like played where for like something about like there's no power dynamic with Leo and what's her name? I'm sorry, that's
Hmm.
disrespectful. But
Yeah,
but
Tiana
but
Taylor. I mean,
Tiana
honestly,
Taylor.
she did her part, but she wasn't in two. She wasn't in like basically two of the 2 hours and 45 minutes of the movie. So I don't
Yeah.
blame you for forgetting.
Yeah, and like and then the relationship with Sean Penn, and then why would she let him hit Raw? I'm just like this whole thing is like a whole like what I came out with this movie is that Tiana Taylor's character was extremely selfish, didn't think of anybody but herself, and then when
Hmm.
consequences came for her, um, she said, "Fuck everyone, I gotta take care of me,"
Oh,
and
she's the
like
most clearly written character in the movie,
yeah,
straight up,
yeah, so
because
like
she's completely selfish.
and they I think like in the beginning of the movie like when Leo said like you don't have to do this, right? Why are we doing this? You don't have to do this. We don't have to do this anymore. And she says, "No, I have to do this because I mean, I think they might have been saying something about postpartum depression because Leo was giving the baby all the attention, and she wanted to like strike out on her own and do all this other shit." And then I'm like, you know,
I
it's
almost agree with that. I would argue against that because like there's that scene where Leo and Regina Hall, not King Hall, are sitting at the campfire and they're like, "Yo, this bitch is still doing like crash out tweaking shit, bro, and she's carrying the kid right now. Like, what the fuck?
oh
Why is she
yeah,
sitting down?" You know, like there was
yeah,
that part, yeah, like where she was like dead pregnant, and they did the reincorporation thing where they had Tiana Taylor, firing off a machine gun while she's like a jillion months pregnant, and then they did the
yeah,
same thing with Chase Infinity. That's the greatest name of all time. That's like a gamer tag. But they did the
yeah,
same thing with Chase Infinity, where it's like they had her in a similar position just to
with the
reincorporate
nuts,
it for
yeah,
no real reason, I guess. Like, I guess they wanted to show, oh, yeah, hey, your daughter's a bit of a crash out too, but not the same as you because she's not, 8 months pregnant.
yeah.
It's, it's,
I just
yeah.
honestly feel that that they painted her character to be a certain way, to be selfish, to be only thinking about herself. And then they painted like Leo's character as being about the family unit, being about keeping everybody safe. And like she was worried and running away to Mexico and all that, right? And then he was just like, I gotta make sure my baby's okay. And that's sort of the difference between them. And then he sort of just becomes like the scared dad for the rest of the movie. At the end, he actually lets her have a cell phone. That whole interrogation scene with like the non-binary kid being the
Hmm.
one that like flips on her. That kind of did feel like some
That felt weird, yeah.
that felt weird. That felt like written by like somebody like, oh yeah, we got to show that these people aren't like they're not really about it. And like
Well, you know what it is? There's a bit of a sub dialogue that I've heard from a lot of people where there's this idea that um, for the longest time, like black people would either play a side character or the hero, I
yeah,
guess. So the idea is like, oh no, we can be villains too, like we can be everything. So maybe it's something along adjacent to those lines, where it's like, oh hey, you know
maybe
what? You don't always have to have like the LGBT person be on the hero side. Maybe they're trying. I guess that's the most charitable um view that I can posit for it. Mostly, I really just think they did it because that's the most interesting looking
yeah.
person out of any of the main character's daughter's friends. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, because it just like a lot of the movie kind of like get tries to get a reaction like that out of you. You're like, what the
yes,
hell? And like that's kind of how my takeaways from the movie. And would you guys
it's
recommend
rich. Man.
watching this?
No, actually, I don't really think I could honestly recommend watching this movie. I think it's very competently made. I think I don't think that the people who wrote it or the person who wrote it understood the implications of saying, "Hey, we're going to write these revolutionaries in," because I don't think that they understand the history of revolution in America,
Yeah, cause
especially not recently.
yeah, man, like, cause I'm gonna reveal this on here. My grandpa was one of the Delano Monongs who were one of the guys who protested for the United Farm Workers to get better treatment. He was part
That's
of that
badass.
movement. Where I have a whole thing about Cesar Chavez, but I'm not gonna say it because it's not the time nor the place. But like, it's like revolution in America, especially when it comes from people of color. It usually ends in different ways. Like like you guys watch the uh, not the Black Klansman, but like Judas and the Black Messiah, right?
I saw Black Klansman. I keep forgetting to watch Judas and the Black Messiah.
I watch it.
That's about the murder of Fred Hampton, correct?
Yeah, so Fred Hampton, he was a revolutionary. He talked and like he was like I think only like 18 or 20, so like really young.
He wasn't very old, yeah.
Yeah, and like the him being tracked by like the government and like specifically they came to his house and they murdered him like in his bed. And it's this is what people get for speaking out is they get compromised to a permanent end, and that's the reward. The reward is in death. That's when you get your martyrdom and you become like sort of lionized and be given like your flowers as, oh, this guy was so revolutionary because he had these thoughts.
Oh,
And I'm just
wait, did Tay just fall out?
yeah, sometimes that happens on Discord, but like when you have these sort of situations, man, it just when you play for it, like this was kind of played for like fuck yeah, right? That's what it was played for. Like so this is all played for like oh hell yeah, right? That's what the movie was going for like the last scene where that the Christmas Club guy gets shot. You're supposed to go hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like that solves all their problems and now they can get these new identities and live in Washington and do whatever, right? And then you're just like you're thinking of stuff like sanctuary cities and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bro, when we stand up and we really try to do something, uh, people die. Sometimes that's the price of freedom is death. And I don't think this really sort of like mention that as sort of a thing, as sort of like a thing to like rise up on and like make a real statement, right? Because
Sure didn't.
I feel like this movie could have gone a couple of different ways, but where it went was like the shortcut feels good. Okay, yeah, sort of like just okay, everything wrapped up in a nice little circle. So here you go. And no, that's not nothing got solved. They were still like doing being on the radios. It was like the end of like Logan, where the little kids are running away from the government, crossing into Canada. Like there's not really a happy ending there because you don't know what the hell happened. And it just feels like okay, so that was like a week in the life of, and now we move on. And I just felt like sort of like you know it's not representative of what I feel could have been a really remarkable sort of movie. But it was a well-made movie. It was directed well, written well, acted well. It'll probably be up for some awards because we know these movies are going to be up for awards because trio white boys as the main characters is always going to like appeal to the Academy because they feel seen.
Well,
Um,
I think the biggest issue with the movie is this movie is the perfect example of how to write a movie with layers but no depth. Like
yeah,
this
yeah,
movie is talking to this movie is telling you, like this movie's basically screaming at you, hey, look at these people that are getting mistreated. Hey, look at this. Oh wow, look at how they just walk into a city and do that. Hey, look. hey, look, it's Member Berries, the movie, but for social issues.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in the greatest scheme of things, I don't think the movie or anybody that wrote it really cares about that. I think it's framing for us to tell a cool pursuit style story.
Yeah.
I think a better pursuit style story would have been if you went to go see Caught Stealing from Aronofsky of all people, which I think his movie was very competent. Would have been better if it was a Guy Ritchie movie, but it was very competent. I'll say the least.
Yeah. There's this movie with The Rock called Faster, right? Where he goes and kills all
Yes.
these guys. And like
Yeah.
this felt very similar to that in the vein where like Rock tries to kill all the bad guys so that his son can be claimed as innocent, right? But like I, unless I'm confusing two Rock movies, but it's just like that's what this movie sort of felt like an empty calories action movie, and that's good,
Yep.
that's fine. But me and you,
But
brother,
when
like
you're
when you're in the middle of a revolution, when you're in the middle of like when your country is in the middle of the shit that we're in right now, uh,
hmm
the way the messages that are delivered and the way it's like kind of said, it's just like we're stuck here like, okay, cool, man, that was cool, as opposed to like when I watch Judas and the Black Messiah, when I watch the Black Klansman, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Like when Adam Driver just goes in and says that I love O.J. Simpson. O.J. is my hero. And like, no, he's not my hero. I want that clear. I was quoting Adam Driver in the Black Klansman, but
no, well, Black Klansman's a really good one to bring up. Like the thing that I liked about the movie is it definitely had moments of levity, but it didn't let you forget. Hey, if this motherfucker gets caught, faking being a Klansman, he's going to die.
yeah,
Like
when
not
they
might. No, that's his ass. Like it's
yeah,
over.
his ass is done. Like when he like has to be David Duke's freaking escort, and then they
Yeah.
start surrounding him because like that one Nick Totoro's character is like, I know that guy. That guy arrested me. And then like that part of all of it was fake, right? That part was all fake where they went to the house. Spoiler alert
Yeah.
on the Black Klansman. So like they go to the house, the wife tries to blow someone up, but then it ends up blowing up the racist. And like that's a funny part, but then like the movie can take you back down to reality where they're like, hey yo, good work, but we can't use this on any reports. We can't use it for that, so we can't even say you did this sort of mission. So only the FBI will know about it, and but we'll never put it out publicly. And like that follows like when they arrest like the racist cop who was being racist to his girl in the movie. And like we talk about revolutionaries, and then that girl was sort of about it, and it's like sort of like you feel like from that sort of like exchange of ideas and that, and the character in the Black Klansman, he felt he was heroic, he was like taking that chance, and that's not exactly what Leo's character was. Leo's character was just a dad, and that's great.
He's just a
He was a
guy.
dad,
He made bombs. Yeah, he's just a dad. He made bombs.
just a dad that was wanting
Like
to make sure
that's
his
it.
daughter was cool. That's it. When he got pissed off on like, because I'm old too, so like when you go like on the phone with some customer support, sometimes you get pissed off. I'm fucking like, let me speak to your fucking supervisor. Hang up. I'm like, man, I felt that so much when he talked
Yeah,
to the customer support
those were good.
dude.
Those were
Uh,
solid moments.
yeah. So, because like Paul Thomas Anderson usually has like these moments of levity in his movies, like
Yeah,
when so like this stuff. Overall, I think it's a really well made movie. It's really beautifully shot. Like the camera angles and the how they frame every shot, it feels like you're in like a painting sort of. And we don't really get to see the relationships between the different revolutionaries, so you don't really get to have that connection with them, right?
yep.
So what this movie is basically a movie about a dad and his daughter and the racist who fucked his wife. That's what the movie comes down to. And then secret societies and all that stuff. And then we go back. It's kind of full circle because we talk about the police, we talk about like witches, and then we talk about like secret societies, like in him. And then here, the secret society at the end of the movie, they end up taking out. You know, they thought they killed Sean Penn, but he didn't die, and then he ends up in this room, and he gets gassed, and then gets put in a cremation, and that's sort of the end. It's not even like that Leo's character wins because they could always come back for him, right? They could always do that, but they won't. And I just think I left this movie. It was cool. I'm sure for some people this was like life changing for them, but not for me. Um, and yeah, man. I want to thank Takezy Taylor for coming on, sharing his time with us, and giving his thoughts on these three movies. I want to thank Will for joining me on this show because Will has been my boy for like a decade. So like when I get to chop it up with him and like he gets to like take the wheel on this show, it's really cool. And yeah, man. Do you have any parting words for the audience?
Hey, look, if you're gonna write a movie that evokes real shit, maybe read a thing or two about the real shit. Outside of that, I don't know. Have a happy holidays.
Yeah. Um, Go ahead. Go to YouTube. Go to Take KZ's YouTube. It's TAYKZY. He has a lot of projections on like not projection. He has a lot of videos on NBA because he loves basketball. He also loves wrestling, so he has videos on there about Dragon Gate, New Japan, AEW. So yeah, hit that boy's channel up, and we'll see you next time.